Welcome to The Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here today because we're diving into a cultural phenomenon that just took over absolutely everything in May 2026. Honestly, if you spent even 5 minutes on your phone that month, you already know exactly what we're talking about. Today, we're breaking down how a highly anticipated movie sequel completely flipped the script on corporate culture and ushered in what we're officially calling the era of Emily.
Okay, let's dive into this. And Emily, that's all. Just hearing those 6 words, you can probably instantly picture that deadpan, famously condescending dismissal delivered by Meryl Streep literally within hours of the theatrical premiere of The Devil Wears Prada 2. This exact audio snippet absolutely dominated short-form video platforms. It was a wildfire. You couldn't scroll for 5 seconds without it hitting your ears.
But it really begs a fascinating question. Why did these 6 specific words take over the internet with such unprecedented speed? Sure, the theater lights dimmed for the big premiere, but the real show, the actual cultural event, was playing out on 6-inch glass screens in the palms of millions of Americans. It wasn't just about a movie anymore. It was a full-blown moment.
Section 1. The Return of Miranda.
You see, this theatrical premiere did something incredibly rare. It unleashed a collective cultural muscle memory that had been building for exactly 2 decades. When Miranda Priestley's terrifying perfection finally returned to the big screen, it didn't just trigger your standard movie hype. Seeing that level of ruthless, hyper-organized, flawless authority struck a really deep nerve. But ironically, it didn't make everyone want to be Miranda.
Section 2. Awakening the Emilys.
Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how it completely shifted the focus. Bringing back the flawless boss actually ended up shining a massive, viral spotlight on the people scrambling underneath her. It awakened an entire generation of Emilys. Think of it as a new noun, the overlooked, beautifully chaotic second assistants of the modern world. Millions of everyday people looked at that flawless Hollywood executive and collectively said, nope, I actually relate to the gloriously messy assistant. It became this amazing badge of validation for anyone who spends their daily life feeling slightly frantic but working incredibly hard.
Section 3. The Vibe Contrast Battleground. So, this viral epidemic quickly evolved into a hilariously fierce visual competition that separated the ultra-polished from the gloriously messy. In the corporate world, you'd see a video start with a hyper-organized, spreadsheet-obsessed boss, and then right as that audio cue hits, and Emily, that's all. The camera whips over to show the employees on setup. Absolute chaos, completely littered with empty iced coffee cups.
But it didn't stay confined to the office. It totally spilled over into personal lives too. Friends were filming their ultra-glam companions, the friend who always looks ready for a runway, and contrasting them with the friend who completely missed the dress code memo and happily showed up in a faded, oversized hoodie.
And of course, the internet wouldn't be the internet if pets weren't drafted into the whole phenomenon, right? People found the most perfectly timed, hilarious animal juxtapositions. Picture a majestic, perfectly groomed show dog looking all regal. Contrast it immediately with a highly chaotic rescue cat captured perfectly mid-sneeze. It was pure joy, and it drove engagement absolutely through the roof.
Section 4. Redefining workplace authority.
So, the crucial point is this. By the end of that premiere weekend, those explosive box office numbers completely validated what the algorithm already knew. The massive success of this And Emily meme reveals a huge shift in how modern American audiences process nostalgia. We aren't just looking back fondly anymore. We're actively rethinking workplace authority. In 2026, people are no longer willing to be passive consumers of Hollywood's hyper-demanding elite worlds.
And they're doing it because they actually have the tools to do it. Armed with quick video filters and instant audio tracks, everyday people are subverting the narrative. They aren't just sitting in a dark theater observing a story. They're taking the raw materials of that story, remixing them right on their phones, and broadcasting their own punchlines to the entire world. They're actively participating.
Section 5. The era of Emily. And this brilliantly illustrates the ultimate reversal of the corporate power dynamic. What started as a condescending line from a fictional powerhouse boss was completely dismantled. Audiences are actively using Miranda Priestley's legendary corporate coldness to celebrate their own glorious messes. They're claiming that chaotic energy as a badge of honor. Being an Emily means you're real, you're relatable, and you're surviving the modern hustle with a sense of humor.
Which brings us to the ultimate question we have to ask ourselves as we wrap up today. In 2026, do we really still want the flawless designer coat and the icy isolation at the top? Or, when you get right down to it, is it actually much more satisfying to just be Emily? I'm going to encourage you to embrace your inner chaos today. Thank you so much for joining me to break this all down, and I'll see you on the next explainer.